Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Ranking the Albums in the co-captain's chair today. Once again, Mr. Rich Catino. What's going on, my friend?
What's up, man? Morning. Happy
Yeah.
October. What do we got? October 18th today.
Yeah, we're recording on the 18th. You folks are watching this on the 19th, but yeah, it's October's in full swing. Rich and I were just talking about
Haunted house.
watching horror films and going to haunted places and all sorts of things that we do when it's this time of year. And
Yep.
Rich is trying to convince me to get back into going to the haunt places. I have one like right down the road from my house that I've never been to, and I drive by like almost every day, and I'm like, yeah, it's like, why do I never do these sorts of things? And Rich is like, you should go. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I'll just have to. So maybe
Pure Terror. It's called Pure Terror Screen Park. Highly recommended. In my top three that I've been to. So
really,
yeah,
wow. It's
on the East
literally
Coast.
right down the road from me. So
Yep. You got to do it.
I just got to go. I just got to go. And,
Yep.
although I'm almost afraid if I do that, I'm gonna love it, and then I'm gonna just like constantly be wanting to do these things. I'm like, I don't have time for this. It's like,
Do
well,
it.
yeah,
You got to squeeze it in, man.
yeah, it's only once a year, right? So,
Yep.
yeah. So today we were gonna have our friend John Gaffney with us, but he had something come up this weekend, so he was not able to join us. But we'll see him the next go around, I believe.
Mhm.
God, do we have another one with scheduled with John? I think Hellstar is the next band
I
we've
think
talked
we
about with
penciled that one in. Yeah.
for the three of us. Yeah, but Rich and I will be back in a very short time with Stephen Reed. We're going to do the Heat catalog, so that's coming up for a little change of pace here. But here we're going back to like 80s US power
Underground.
metal, speed metal, thrash metal, right? This is
Yep.
a very cool band that only released two albums in the 80s, then broke up for a bit, but then came back, and they've been moderately active since like
Mhm.
the 90s. That band is Agent Steel, originally signed to Combat Records, and eventually then wound up on Metal Blade and various other labels. I'm trying to think of where else they wound up on.
You know what they released too that was cool? I know we didn't include it because it's an EP, but that Mad Locust Rising, did you get a chance to listen to that?
I did not actually know. It's pretty good.
Cool 4 song EP. Yeah, it was a cover song, but the three originals on it are really cool. But
Yeah.
obviously, we're not including in the rankings, too short.
Yeah, really good band. Really good band. Kind of, along with some other bands who we've done in this series, like Liege Lord and a handful
Right.
of others that like were these US bands that kind of came out with a bang on either Metal Blade or Combat or one of those various labels and
Yeah.
playing this kind of like speed metal, early power metal kind of thrash hybrid, and
Mhm.
then just kind of didn't really go anywhere, and then we've seen them all kind of get back together in later years. But I think this is a pretty strong catalog, really good band. John Cyrus or Cyrus, however he says his name, I don't know how he
Mhm.
pronounces it, kind of like the notable guy in this band, although only appears on three of the albums, so they did a couple
Right.
albums without him. But
And a unique voice too, right? He's like uh, old Jeff Tate singing speed metal,
yes.
right?
It's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah.
I will say on the first two records, I can totally deal with his voice.
Yeah.
We'll talk about how I feel about his voice on the most recent album, right? All these years.
Agreed.
Yeah, right? Yeah, exact thought so. And
Yeah.
the guy they had in between was really good, I thought.
He was, but I have a couple negative comments about that vocal delivery too. So when we get to
Okay.
those albums, I'll bring
But
it up.
musically, kick-ass music. I mean, this is like
Yeah,
if you love, twin guitars and, super crunchorama, musically, if you love like classic Testament and, maybe Annihilator, there's a lot to love in this catalog. A lot to love.
first Anthrax album, Fistful of Metal,
Yes, good. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Slayer, Show No Mercy type
Little
of
Overkill, right, as well.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
old stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, they get labeled as a straight speed metal band, but I hear, with the exception of maybe that first debut album, I hear a lot of just regular thrash in this catalog.
in the later albums, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. So we got six albums, so we'll do two at a time. So Rich, why don't you give us your number six and your number five? We'll start from there.
All right. So my number six is Alien Enigma.
Alien Enigma, yes, which is
Enigma,
this one
and I
right.
think most of their songs and their albums are themed around aliens and
Yeah, it's
UFOs.
very sci-fi focused. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so cool lyrics. But this album, this is the second one, if I'm correct, right? With the new singer,
Yes.
Bruce Hall.
Yep.
So I noticed when they got into these albums, There's two with him singing, correct? Order of
Three.
the Illuminati.
You got three in total.
Oh, that's right, and Omega Conspiracy.
Yep.
So when you get to this album, it's 2007, and I totally hear the influence of like bands like In Flames, Machine Head, Dark Tranquility. Did you notice that it's got that the heavier guitar tone, groovier guitar tone,
A
like the
little bit, a little bit. I
technical
still
modern thrash, heavy groove, right?
modern threat. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but not like Nevermore, because I think I hear Nevermore definitely in Order of the Illuminati. But this album is more, like I said, In Flames and those kind of bands because it's 2007. So I think the bands of that time, and they were around that time, are more of an influence, I think, on this. But what I really don't like about this album is those heavy, gruff vocals that he does.
Oh, yeah. He mixes it up a little
That's
bit on this record. Yeah.
that's throwing me off, and I don't like that about this album. I prefer the previous album and the one before that more than the delivery on this one. So this is like a really heavy, brutal album from what I,
Oh, it's very heavy. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
yeah, really brutal. So I wrote down a couple songs like Fashion from Dust and Hail to the Chief. What I wrote down was the vocals just don't have the personality at this point. They had more personality before, but not on this album. So that's why it's at the bottom of the pile for me. I wrote down Liberty Lying Bleeding is very kind of new metal rhythmic type of riffing, right? I'm hearing some of that. WPD reminds me of like a Corn song, maybe.
Really? See, I don't get
Yeah,
that.
like the breakdowns and things. So, yeah, for all those reasons, it's at my six.
Okay. What do you got for number five?
Five. Now I switched these last minute, but we were talking about that vocal from the more recent album, No Other Gods Before Me. So it's not my five. Order of the Illuminati is my five.
Really?
It was switched, yeah, because I do prefer the singer's vocal, but on No Other Gods Before Me, it's really high and really screechy, right? But musically, I like that album better because it's more classic Agent Steel. So that's why I swapped it. So that's in my four. So number five is Order of the Illuminati from 2003. So I think that one has a lot of power mixed with melody, right? And it reminds me of like later Flotsam and Jetsam
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
and Nevermore. Lots of Nevermore.
A lot of
Those
Nevermore on
those
this one.
riffs and those type of Jeff Loomis leads, right, going on this record. And it's good. I like it. I like that element in their music. Um, let's see. First song is 10. What's the first song called? I'm going to go back to the track listing here. Hold on. I wrote down 10 Fists of Nations, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 10 Fists of Nations, EVL. They got the pinch harmonics going on. There's two songs that have that old school speed delivery. So that's Enslaved and Forever Black. Did you notice that?
Yep.
They keep that in their music still. Kind of brought it back for
It
that.
never really goes away. Every album has a little bit of that. Yeah, for
It
sure.
does. But the Alien Igma is much more, like I said, heavier and modern. I don't really think I hear any old school Asian steel there. Insurrection, you got that Middle East sound with the guitar
Yes.
and the bass,
I'm glad you picked that up. Yep.
right? Apocalypse is a little bit slower. I wrote down Dead Eyes also first song. So it's good, pretty good. But it's at my five, I think, because musically, I think No Other Gods is a little more familiar to the old school, even though the vocal gets insanely high and screechy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But still a strong album, good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, we differ a little bit on that album, but that's more on that later. All right. So my number six, I'm going to go with No Other Gods Before Me.
Okay.
So this is a weird time in the period of this band because basically after the second singer left,
Mhm.
he came, Paul Cyrus, however he says his name, I mean, John Cyrus, came back to the band and they had a lot of stop starts and things and played a bunch of festivals and shows. And then he was
Mhm.
out, he was in, he was out, he was in. And then eventually, after a number of years, basically the band breaks up again. And then he decides to put a new version of the band back together. So this is basically him and a bunch of new dudes. and
Right.
this was like 2021, and this
Yeah.
is already like this band on like the third iteration of the him reforming the band, and
Right.
they've since like changed. He's changed the full lineup again. So like the people who are on this album are not in the band right now. So musically, it's really good. I mean,
Yeah.
it totally sounds like first,
Old
second
school.
Agent Steel. I mean,
Yeah.
totally,
Yeah.
Crips of Galactic Damnation, Fast and Furious speed metal, really, really good. Uh, No Other Gods Before Me, loads of blazing lead guitars, nonstop riff fests. Trespassers, good track. The Devil's
Mhm.
Greatest Tricks, total thrash. Veterans of Disaster. I mean, I can go on and on. There's musically, there's great guitar work. The songs are kick-ass. I can't deal with his vocals on this.
It is really high and really
Holy
intense, right?
moly. It's so over the top, like high pitched falsetto histrionic to the point where after
Yeah.
like, like 30 seconds of listening to him on every song, I'm just kind of like, oh my God, dude, tone it down. I never felt that way about his vocals on the first two albums at all.
Right. There is a little more variety. Not so much on the first album, but on the second album.
Oh yeah, yeah. The second album is we'll get to that, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Musically, I think this is great.
yeah.
I just find that his vocals are really grating at
It
times.
does. Totally.
Just it's just so over the top. There's like one track on here, I forget which one it is, where he tones it down a little bit. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
The rest of it is just like, and he's like squealing, and I'm like, oh man, it's like
Yep.
what is going on here? And I
Yeah.
think it kind of ruins this album for me because otherwise I think it's a kick-ass record. So
That's why I have my problem switching between 4 and 5, but musically. The music
music is
on
great. Yeah,
No
I
Other
mean,
Gods wins for me over the vocal that's on the Order of the Illuminati.
yeah, and he's got like, I mean, the players on this album, he's got like, and I don't know any of these guys, Vinicius Carvalho and Nikolai Atanasov. I guess they're all like, Eastern European guys. Great, great players. Rasmus Kaijer on drums, or however he says his name, and Shiuchi Oni on bass. I don't know any of these people, but they're amazing. They're really, really good.
Do we know if they're still active? I don't even know.
It says that they are. It says that they've either recorded or have done work on a new record, but again, they've been saying that for a couple of years now, so I don't know what's going on. They're probably like they pop up and play festivals every now and then, but they haven't really done
Yeah.
any tours or anything like that. So it's been a few years. So really since COVID, they're kind of inactive. But all right. So my number five, this may be blasphemy to some people. I'm gonna go with the debut, Skeptic's Apocalypse from '85.
Hmm. I
Produced
understand
by
why.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's really good. Produced by Jay Jones, Combat Records, pedal to the metal, speed metal. I think John singing up a storm on this. You got Juan Garcia and Kurt Kohlfeldt, who are the two original guitar players. Juan is pretty consistent throughout the catalog, with the exception of the most recent album. Chuck Profus on drums and George Robb on bass. The first track, Agents of Steel, they always like open up with a little instrumental, but the first track is
Hmm.
Agents of Steel. Really good song, total blazer, lightning guitar solos, jackhammer drumming, his shrieking vocals, taken by force. Again, brutal speed metal. I
Yeah.
think you get the point. I can keep going on here, but Evil Eye, Evil Minds, really good. Bleed for the Gods, really intense, really fast, really furious.
Mhm.
Over on side two, you get the songs are really short, like really short
All
on
right.
this album, like way too
Yeah.
short, I think. Especially
Mhm.
on side one. Side two, you get like let's see. Children of the Sun is
I wrote
really,
that
really
one
good.
down.
Yeah, that's a great, great song.
Yeah.
144,000 Gone, kind of more mid-paced and riffy. I like the fact they changed that up there. And then you got Guilty as Charged, which is just blinding fast.
Yeah.
Back to the Rain has a little bit of new wave of British heavy metal elements to it. Love the twin guitars.
Yep.
Overall, I think it's a really good album. My issue with this album, I think too much of it is fast and furious, and it all kind of sounds the same a little bit. And
Yeah.
thankfully, on the second album, they moved away from that a little bit and offered a
Yeah.
lot more variety. That's why I think the second album works so much better than this. I know a lot of
Yeah.
people watching who are longtime fans probably think this could be their best album. I get it. For me, it's just
Mhm.
too much of the same throughout the whole album. It's really short. It's like barely 30 minutes long, and it's just
Yep.
every song is so short and just full on speed. So, but
Yeah.
it's really good. It's really good. But it gives you
It's
a taste of
definitely
what's to come.
definitely for fans of Exciter and Razor, right?
Yeah, yes, yes. Although I would argue that Exciter. have a little bit more variety in their music, even them, than what's on this
Yeah,
album.
for sure.
It is a good album. Don't get me wrong, I like it.
Yeah.
I just it's a little one note for me. So,
Well, speaking of Exciter, did we talk about maybe throwing them in the pile with this 80s underground metal? I don't know. Did we
well,
talk?
I mean, I've already done an Exciter ranking a
Oh, you
year
did.
ago,
Okay.
but we can maybe we can think of a theme that we can include some of that. I don't know. We'll talk. We'll
Yeah.
figure something.
All right. So now we're what?
Number four.
Four. So, like I said, that is now No Other Gods Before Me because of the music. But like you said, the vocals are crazy.
Yeah.
So if you prefer him, what he was doing on the first two records, more so the first record, go with this album, right, as a higher album. But yeah, it does get grating after a while. I also wrote down too that this album has a little bit of a black metal influence too with the riffing.
Uh,
Like
yeah,
on the
maybe
title
the
track,
tremolo pick riffs. Maybe yeah, I could see
a little
those.
bit, yeah, like title track. But I also wrote down they brought back more of those twin guitars, which is
Yeah,
also why
yeah.
I like this one a little bit more. So I put that one at number four. But yeah, other than that, everything you talked about already for that one. Can't say too much more for that.
Okay.
And then my number three is the debut. I got to get that and Unstoppable Force on CD.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
have
available. You can
it
find
yet.
them.
Have they been?
You'll
Is
find
that like
all these pretty
remastered version?
easily.
Yeah. Is it
What's that?
remastered? Is that like remastered or anything?
Uh, Good question. I don't know. It doesn't sound great, so I'll put it to that. It's okay, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I got to get that one. That one and what you call it? Second one.
yeah. It doesn't say it's remastered, so I don't know. But it's a nice reissue because you get all the lyrics, you get photos and stuff like that, and everything. It's they did a nice job with it when they
Yeah.
released it. And this is on God, what is this on? Def Imaginario Discos. This was an import, so I don't know. It may
Yeah.
not even be legit. I don't even know.
I'm gonna look for that in
Who the hell
Unstoppable.
knows? Yeah, you can find it. You can
Yeah,
find
I
it.
got to put them in my catalog here, my CDs. So yeah, it is kind of one dimensional, but it's still enjoyable. I like the Anthrax, Fistful of Metal, Slayer, Show No Mercy elements to it in the music. Very, very product of the time. It's 1985.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I wrote those two bands down, and like I said before, Exciter, Anvil too. If you're into those bands, probably are if you're listening to Agent Steel, right? So a couple of my favorites on the album are Evil Eye, Mind's Eye, Blood for the Gods. I like Children of the Sun. It's a little bit slower. It's not that whole, straightforward flatline speed metal delivery. 144,000 Gone. You got that scream, right? There's some screams in there that are crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's got quite the voice, I will say.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah.
knows how, if he uses it correctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that
I
I should
like
be the one telling him how to sing, but I'm just saying.
and Guilty as Charged, I wrote down too. You got the scream in there also, and it's a little more mid tempo at points too. So that comes at my three.
Okay. All right. My number four is going to be Omega Conspiracy. Third album, reunion album, 1999, self-produced by the band Metal Blade Records. So really cool right out of the gate. Come back together. They get signed to Metal Blade. So here we got Juan Garcia and Bernie Versailles on guitar,
Mhm.
the guitar duo from the second album, and
But the new singer, Bruce Hall.
yep, and new singer Bruce Hall. Chuck Profis is back on drums. We got Mike Zaputiel, I believe, played bass on the album, but then he left the band and was replaced by Carlos Medina. But then we get this singer Bruce Hall, who I don't know from anywhere else,
Mhm.
and I really like his vocal style. I don't know where they found him from, but
I prefer more on this album than the next one.
Uh, I like them both actually. I mean, musically, this isn't much different than the second album, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe more thrash and power metal, maybe a little less speed metal, but it's better
Mhm.
produced. I will say that. I think the production is
Yes.
really good on this.
Mhm.
I think Hall, to his credit, has more of a varied vocal style than John does. And I
Yeah.
think it works with here. He also does some little gruff stuff in times, which I think adds a nice variety to the music. As well
Right.
as the high shrieking stuff, as well.
Yeah.
Destroy the Hush and Illuminato is Machine, or is that what that's called?
Illuminati, I think.
Illuminati is Machine, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, those are both great.
Yeah.
Really good, high intensity riffs. I like the fact that the songs are longer here in this era of the band. It's none of
Mhm.
these like 2.5, 3 minute long speed
Right.
fests. They allow these songs to develop over like 4.5, 5, 6 minutes long, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Fighting Backwards has a nice gallop to it, blazing leads, New
Yeah.
Gods totally crushes. Love the riffing. Know Your Master is a total thrash song, reminds me a lot of Testament. Infinity, that's kind of again a little different. It's kind of atmospheric and melodic, and then it turns into this blazing thrash song. Awaken the Swarm, terrific. Kind of reminds me
Yeah.
of Fate's Warning, kind of moody. I really like this. It's not what you think. Reminds me of Nevermore, and I think their cover
Yeah.
of Beyond the Realms of Death by Judas Priest is terrific.
Yeah.
A lot of times I come down on these bands when they do covers that are just kind of like by the numbers covers, but man, this is done very, very well.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sad thing is they released this album and started playing live, and I guess John was kind of pissed off that they were using the Agent Steel name, so he started like going at them with like lawyers and stuff. So what they
Uh,
did was they changed the name of the band to Order the Illuminati and went out on tour as that. And then eventually they were able to get the name back and change the name back to Agent Steel. And then their follow-up album was called Order of the Illuminati. So yeah, but really, really great album. I like it a lot. That's my number four. And my number three, I'm gonna go with Alien Enigma. So fifth album. This is on Mascot Records. Produced by Bill Metoyer, who has done a lot with metal bands like this over the years. And I think this could be the best sounding album out of all of them. It's really, really good. So we got Robert Cardenas on bass. Basically, the lineup though stays the same as on Omega Conspiracy. Fashion from Dust, total blazer. Love the vocals. Riffs are killer. Wash the Planet Clean, kind of cool. Chugga Chugga thrash track. Hail to the Chief, which you mentioned. I think that kicks all sorts of ass. I really like that a lot. Again, most of the songs here are 5 to 6 minutes. I like that. Liberty Lying Bleeding. It's pretty catchy. Kind of reminds me of Metal Church a little bit. Hybridize is good. Extinct could be one of my favorite songs in the catalog. Absolutely raging track. Again, has that Testament feel. Wormwood, another one that reminds me of Testament. I think Bruce and a couple of these tracks reminds me of Bruce Dickinson, like from like early, early on in Maiden,
no.
which I kind of like. But you mentioned like WPD reminds me of Pantera and a little bit of like
Oh, maybe that's what I was hearing instead of corn.
yeah, I hear Pantera in that quite a bit. I love Tiamat's Fall. That's a brutal, raging thrash track. And then you mentioned the melodic death metal thing. Lamb to
Yeah.
the Slaughter reminds me of the Swedish scene a little bit.
Okay.
I don't mind it. I think it's
I
okay.
hear it a lot on this album. Yeah, it's weird for
I
me.
don't mind it, but it's good. It's a definitely a brutal album. I like it. I like the intensity of it. I love the production of it. And this will be the last one with Bruce. John will come back into the band shortly thereafter. So yeah, that's my number three.
I do like the album artwork.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool cover.
Really cool.
Yeah.
All right, two and one. What do you got?
Two is a mega conspiracy.
I could totally see that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I think it's a nice bridge between the first two albums and then where they were going later. And it's got that Nevermore thing happening. It's 1999. So
yeah.
Nevermore has what, three or four albums out by then.
At least, yeah, yeah.
I think 99 is, or the year before is not Dead
Dead
Heart.
Heart in a Dead World is
Not
what it
Dead
was.
Heart. It's the one before that.
Okay. Screaming Neon Black or whatever. Neon.
Uh, geez, I love Nevermore. And I can't think of the album right now.
Anyway,
It's the
I know
one
which ones you're
before.
talking about. Yeah.
But so it's got some of that vibe going on with the music and the riffs. But I like the combination of the first two albums going where they're going to go forward after this. So I wrote down, and I also wrote down the mix-up tempos here too, which I really like.
Yeah.
It's not all the same. It's speed metal, but it's got more of that modern '90s Nevermore thing happening too. So let's see. Destroy the Hush, Illuminati is the machine. You got the tempo changes, the driving riff. Fighting Backwards, you got the lead work, but it's a little more steadfast. Not so fast, right? And it's not slow. It's got that steadfast beat. I also wrote down Awaken the Swarm. Bleeding Forever's piano there. You remember that in that one?
Yeah.
Which is a nice addition. And I like the melodic, they got the melodic singing and the backing vocals too.
Yeah,
For
they did a really nice job with the backing vocals on these albums with Bruce,
yeah,
I thought. Yeah.
yeah. So that's my number two. And then of course number one, Unstoppable Force. which is such a great step after the debut,
Yeah, it
right?
really is. Yep.
There's growth. You can hear it in the music. There's more variety, more attention to your guitar melodies. Great songs that I wrote down, or I think the whole album is great, but I wrote down the title track. I think it's got. I also wrote down there's more personality in the vocal too.
Yeah.
You get more personality in the delivery, right?
Yep.
Tempo changes from slow to quick. Um, Never surrender. You got the bass start. I wrote down indestructive. Chosen to stay. Got the melodic guitar lead. There's like a controlled vocal in that. There's more control too with the vocal, which I really like about this
Yeah,
album.
he's just not screaming the scream on here, I think, which is good.
Right. It's more fitting for each of the songs, right?
Yep.
Let's see what else I wrote down. Rager, more mid tempo. I really like that one,
That's a
mid
good one.
tempo. And what else? The Day at Guyana. Is that how you pronounce it?
Guyana. Yep.
Guyana. So you got the catchy riff and those twin leads again, also.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really a great, perfect album, I think, for them. Good representation of what Agent Steel is. If somebody asked me for a record from these guys, it would be Unstoppable Force.
Yeah, I mean that's the obvious choice, right? For someone to start their journey with, I think I totally.
Yeah.
So I went back and forth between my one and two. I could really choose either one of these, but I'm gonna go with what I feel is the right thing to do, and I'm gonna
Mm.
go with number two, Order of the Illuminati. I almost
Mm.
had this as my number one, Rich. I really like this.
Wow.
I really like this a lot. This is their fourth
Wow.
album. Basically the same lineup as Omega Conspiracy, but you got Rigo Amezcua on drums and Carlos Medina full-time on bass. So this is them going back to the Agent Steel name away from going as Order of the Illuminati. Uh, I mean, Avenger, kick-ass thrash.
Mm.
And honestly, parts of this album I don't think sound all that different from like the Bay Area scene at all. It just reminds me of like Heathen and Testament and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But even a little bit of what Overkill were doing, like right around this time too.
Mm.
The songs are longer. 10 Fists and Nations, which you mentioned. I love that. Love the opening riff on that. The drums are kick-ass. Um, I also get an Annihilator vibe some parts of this album as well. Uh,
Later, not later.
yeah,
Later
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely. Yep, yep. Earth Under Lucifer is excellent. Enslaved, super speedy. Um, you mentioned the Middle Eastern feel on Insurrection. I like that.
Yes, Insurrection. Yeah.
Moody and just
Yeah.
atmospheric. I really like that.
Which is also kind of an Evermore quality too sometimes.
Yes, 100%.
And
Yep.
speaking of, so I don't forget, it is Dreaming Neon Black, which is a brilliant record.
That's kind of the one I thought you were talking about. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I love all three. The Politics of Ecstasy, Dreaming Neon Black,
That
and
was
then
quite
Death.
the run for them, right? Yeah,
Three in a row are just brilliant. So go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Good.
Uh, what else? Forever Black, Dead Eyes, great. Again, I get an Anthrax feel at times. Instrumental called Control is great. Again, I get a Testament vibe. Human Bullet kicks ass. I like this a lot. I think this is excellent. Another album that I would urge folks. Again, it's not the original lineup, but I think it's a pretty solid lineup for the band, and for me, my favorite of the Bruce Hall era. Really good. And I'm gonna go with number one, just like Rich. I'm gonna go with Unstoppable Force. Which, yeah, I mean, the title of the album is exactly what you get here. Dan Johnson produced this for Combat Records. Weird thing too, right? They released this album, but then they started having problems with the label, and they got like suspended by the label. I guess they were a major label was talking to them about signing them,
Hmm.
and the label wound up going with Megadeth instead, or something like that. I think it was Capitol, and then Combat was pissed at them and they released the album, but then suspended them, and then the band breaks up. It's a whole weird thing going on. From what I understand, John Cyrus was kind of a pain in the ass to deal with, and the label hated working with him. So I don't know. This is all stuff I've read. I don't know who the hell knows.
Oh, okay.
But a lot of what Rich says, I absolutely agree with. I think the songs are a little longer than the stuff we got on the debut, which I like. This is almost 40 minutes, whereas the debut was just about 30.
Yep.
You get Bernie Versailles joins on co-lead guitar here. He's an amazing player. Title track is great. Love the lead guitar work. Never Surrender is really good. Chosen to Stay. That's more kind of like that speed metal thing that they do, but they don't do it like nonstop on this album, which is really good. And I think Cyrus sounds killer on this record. I think he
Yeah.
sounds really good. Still Searching is more mid-tempo, really melodic. I like that. You mentioned Rager.
Yeah.
Rager reminds me of like the debut EP from Queensryche. That's like
Yeah.
Queen of the Reich type stuff. Really
Yeah.
good. Really, really good.
Yeah,
And even like maybe like the second Crimson Glory album. It's really,
they're cool.
it's kind of like speed metal, thrash, early prog metal, like all roll
Yep,
into one. Really good. Dea Guyana is a great instrumental. Nothing Left is good. I don't know. It's a really, really good album. And yeah,
yeah,
this is the obvious choice to recommend to someone who's brand new to this band. I would say if you want like the best of the early stuff, you have to have this. For
right.
me, if you want the best of the later stuff, you got to have this. But really, we can make the case that all of these albums have a lot to love in them. And like I said, I wish that the vocals weren't so over the top on this one because I really want to love this album as a return to the classic sounds of the band.
True.
Man, John, just tone it down a little bit. Dude, we know you can sing, but whew, man,
And then,
geez.
like I said, I think the one before it, Alien Igma, maybe not so right influenced by the heavier sounds of the time and the Swedish thing happening.
Yeah, I dig it though for what it is. I think it's
Yeah,
really well done.
yeah.
Yeah, all these albums are really well done. So,
Little fun fact about these guys. Do you remember that they were on the Metal Hammer Roadshow that came out on VHS back in the 80s?
oh, were they on that? Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have it, but I was looking up their discography and it's with Anthrax and Overkill.
Oh, wow, kind of cool.
Yeah, I remember having this. It came out in 1986 and I still have mine.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, like I remember Steve Keeler having these albums at Rock Fantasy, and I remember seeing them in, in the
Yeah,
bins and stuff in the record shops. But for whatever reason, it's one of those bands. I remember seeing them in Liege Lord all the time, and I just never bought them because you can't when you're a
yeah,
kid, right? You can only afford so much, and so I
yeah.
bought other stuff, right? I was buying like the German, the Creator, and the Destruction albums, and the Celtic Frost and the Merciful Fates.
Grave Digger, Running
Fates
Wild,
Warning and Gravedigger and all that stuff. You
Running
can't buy
Wild.
everything, right? So I just kind of overlooked these. And
Yeah,
now I'm like, I mean, I was telling Rich before we started taping, I've been listening to these albums nonstop for like the last month, and I'm really digging them a lot. And I'm like,
yeah.
it's like another one of those, where's this band been all my life, right? Type of things. Better late than never. So we've got coming up, guys, on ranking the albums. So, like I said, Rich and I will be doing in what 2 weeks, Rich, I think. Keep
Yeah,
me
a couple days before Halloween.
couple days before Halloween. Yeah, we're recording, and so it'll be Halloween weekend that'll air. We are ranking alongside Stephen Reed the catalog of Heat, the very cool Swedish melodic rock AOR band, or whatever the hell you want to call them. Very, very cool band.
But they bring back
It's
that 80s, the 80s hard
80s
rock,
vibe. Yeah,
glam metal sound as well.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know,
Very, very cool band. And what do we got? 7 albums in that catalog, I think. Seven, eight.
7 or 8.
Yeah, 7 or 8. So that's coming up real, real soon. I believe the next ranking show is George Lemmy and myself doing the Iceberg albums, the instrumental fusion band from Spain. So I think that's coming up next, and then Rich and I are going to circle back and get to before somewhere around Thanksgiving time or thereabouts. We've got the Hellstar catalog, which let me tell you is
Yeah,
really good, really
yeah,
good. The new
I
album just came out, so we've been waiting. So we
yes.
couldn't do this before.
Which I'm enjoying a lot. What do you got there? Let's see. Run through them real quick. Show me a couple
All right, so
covers.
the only one I don't have is the one from 20. I do have it, but it's in my closet. I got to dig
Okay.
it up. But here's the new one.
Yeah,
Here we
yeah,
got
really
Burning
good.
Star.
Burning Star is cool.
Yep, the early stuff. Here we
Next
got
one's amazing.
Remnants of War.
Love it, love it.
I love this one. King of Hell.
Oh, dude, the King of Hell is my top three is in a battle with that album and two others.
King of Hell is so good.
So good.
Vampiro,
I like Vampiro.
This Wicked Nest,
Okay, a little heavy, right?
Principles of Black,
Interesting. Okay,
Distant Thunder.
love it. I have that on vinyl still. I remember
Oh,
buying it.
really?
Yeah, I have that on
And the one a
vinyl.
lot of people love, Nosferatu.
And I got that reissue that you have. I have that one, and I have um, Remnants of War just came out reissue too.
So I don't know if we haven't talked about including this, but I have it. So this is Sins of the Past, which is like a collection of stuff that didn't make albums, and I think they redid some stuff. So we'll have to
Yeah.
figure out if we want to include this or not. But it's
Okay.
part of the catalog. And then there's the other one. Like I have the one from 2011, but I have it in my closet. I just got to dig it out. But that's another
I
one.
have the Nosferatu and the Distant Thunder, the ones that reissue with the slipcase, like you have.
Yeah, those are good. Those are really
Yeah,
good.
great
These
sound
are
too, right? The
terrific.
remaster
Yeah,
sounds great.
really good. These are
Yeah,
ferocious albums. And like I said. Hell's kind of like Agent Steel. Hellstar is a band that like they don't really fit into any kind of nice, neat bucket because they're thrash, but not nonstop thrash.
No,
They're just classic, classic heavy metal, right? I guess you could call it early US power metal, but like,
especially the first two. The
yeah, oh,
first
yeah,
two are very traditional heavy metal, actually.
yeah, yeah. Really good band. And again, another one of those bands that I remember seeing all their albums back in the day, never bought them, and then just started getting into them like this year. And I'm like, holy cow, this catalog is so good,
Mhm.
so good. So
Really, you haven't listened to them in all that time?
no, I had, like I said, I got the 2011 album, and I really dug that. And I'm drawing a blank on the name of the album. But like, I never listened to them in the 80s and the early 90s.
No.
I remember
I was definitely a fan of the
seeing
80s.
them. Yeah, no, it's
Remnants of War and Nosferatu and the one before. What's the one before it again? Jeez.
Distant Thunder.
Thunder. Love it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those three.
we're all really good. We're all really good. And then that singer, man,
Yeah.
powerhouse, powerhouse, James
Yeah.
Rebecca, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's coming up. So we'll get you that somewhere, between the holidays, I would assume. So between like Thanksgiving and Christmas, we'll probably be able to bring that one to you. And then of course there's the Big Daddy, which is we both agree we're going to save
Yeah.
for January. So that's Virgin Steel. So I
How
think
many I'm gonna look it up. How many records
it's
do they
16 or 17. But then there's that kind of box set thing they put out that had a new album in it. So which I don't have. I have everything else but that.
have?
So and there's how many double albums in this catalog too? There's like three or
Yeah.
four double albums.
Yeah, there's The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, and then you got The House of Atreus, Act One and Two,
One and two. Yep. Yep.
which is like basically going to like a Greek a Greek tragedy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much music to consume, but
Very adventurous stuff in the end. And the early first couple of albums are pretty short, and then all of a sudden, like once Jack Starr left the band and the singer kind of took control of the band, he's
yeah,
got this vision, right? And all these albums just become like epic. So it's a lot
right.
to check into and dig into. So Rich and I are both going to take time between like after the holidays and New Year's because I'm off for almost a month, and I'm gonna really dive into the catalog. So we'll bring you that right after the new year, probably.
It
So
is, I think, 16, by the way. I'm looking it up now.
yeah.
About 16. Yep.
So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So that's all to come, and lots more. So a lot more in the catalog. Also, Grant Arthur and I are going to be reviewing and ranking the Piper albums as well as the Jafria albums. So that's coming up too. So a lot happening
Oh,
here on the
cool.
channel.
For free, huh?
So yeah. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Also, we've got another new wave of traditional heavy metal show coming up in the next couple of weeks too. We've got
Oh, yes. When
talk
are
to
we
guys
doing
about.
that? We didn't talk about that. We talked about the bands. We're going to do Wings of Steel, who just put out an amazing record that came out Friday.
Yep, yep. Mine's on the way.
Listen to those songs.
I've heard the couple songs; they're great. Yep, so I'm looking
So
forward
good,
to it.
right? It's like Judas Priest in the 80s meets Gamma Ray meets Vicious Rumors, right? It's just a great mix of traditional 80s metal for today.
Yeah, so we've got that. We've got the new Ambush
Ambush,
and the new Void as well.
Void.
And
Yeah,
I have
Void.
those here, so that's like I'm just waiting for the other one to come in. So
Yeah, I got Wings of Steel on the way.
yeah, so that's coming up on our next new wave of traditional heavy metal primer. Again, we've changed the focus of the show to each episode. We're going to focus on three brand new releases.
Mm.
So those are the three, and then of course Rich has already thrown a couple others at me that we'll probably save for the one after that because
Yeah,
there's
for
this
that. Yeah.
never-ending supply of them coming out.
So
So.
I like doing the new album idea. It's really good. It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
well, we spent a year like telling everybody about all the bands that, not
Yeah.
all of them, but a lot of them that are on the
Mhm.
scene. So now it's like, and these come out so frequently that's like it just made sense to start really focusing on the new releases. So
Yeah. And what's cool too is Wings of Steel are going to be opened up for Sabaton next year
yes,
on
yes,
some
yeah.
US dates. So it's good to see, right? A couple of these bands are now getting some opening
I may
slots.
actually have to go to that, even though I'm not a big Sabaton fan, but
Neither am I, but I love this band. So if they have an East Coast date close enough, I'm going to go.
yeah. Well, have you seen the cover of the new Sabaton CD?
No.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, oh, that cover is awesome. Maybe I should get that. I'm like,
Does it look like it's going to be historical again? War.
yeah, but it's really cool. Go look it up. It's very cool. Like Ken Golden was just showing me the cover of it yesterday, and I was like, oh, look at that. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, I know I'm not a fan, but that's a kick-ass cover. I'm like,
Mhm.
so I don't know.
I got
So
my
anyway, there we go. Yes, we miss Ace.
honor base. I
Yep,
figured I'd pick this, for my coffee mug this morning.
that's right. Yep,
Yeah.
we miss him. Tragic
Yep.
these things happen, it's like
Yeah.
dropping like flies. It's crazy. So, for everybody watching, rank the Agents of Steel albums as you like them down in the comments below. If, like I said, if you're not familiar with some of these albums or any of them, go listen. This is a really, really seriously good band. And let us know what you think of them. And we'll see you next time here on Ranking the Albums. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please go check out Rich's stuff over on Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles and the Metal Asylum Metal Hall of Fame. I'm sure he's got other stuff you want to quickly talk about. Anything new you've done over there before we go?
I haven't done anything recently, honestly. I've been prepping for this for the
He's been
past
too
couple of
busy
weeks,
doing this, right? We
right?
got
For
Agents of
this, and then
Steel
I
and
got
Heat.
Heat. What did I do for Brave Words? What was the show I just went to? Now
Uh,
I forget.
I don't know. You tell me. You went.
I forgot what show it was. Oh, I saw Alice Cooper and Judas
There
Priest
we go.
and
Yeah,
COC at the Art Center. So that's up at Brave Words. I got some photos up there and I wrote about it.
cool.
That's the most recent thing I did for them.
Awesome. Awesome.
Metal Hall of Fame, I haven't written anything recently, but I will for November.
Okay. Sounds good. So go check
Yep.
all that out, and you can catch Rich and I together once again in just a few short weeks for Heat, alongside Stephen Reed, then the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal episode, and then, like I said, we got Hellstar and Virgin Steel coming up after that. So stay tuned for that and more. For Rich, I am Pete. Thanks for watching us here on this Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. See you next week here on Ranking the Albums. Take care. Bye bye.